Started. I want to welcome you to today's online educational series, Creating a Professional Profile and Promoting Yourself and Your Book on Facebook. My name is Jen Sung. I'm with the corporation. I'll be today's moderator. I would like to thank you all again for coming, and let's get a few things. We'll go over a few things before we get the presentation going. Before we begin, everyone except for the speakers will be muted throughout the webinar just to keep us on schedule. If you have any questions, we will allow that after the presentation. When the presentation is finished, we'll have a slide up for you to have any to see the information for Solstice Publishing and contacting us on our Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn accounts. This here's your control panel. You'll see it on the right of your screen. The orange arrow by the green hash mark, it will allow you to minimize or maximize the control panel. And then if you'll notice down below, by the pink hash mark, there's an area for you to type any questions that you might have during the presentation. And you can hit send, which is right by the blue hash mark, and we'll go over those questions after the presentation. All right, so for today's presenters, we have Fred Stacy, who's the COO of the corporation, and Jennifer Ponarelli, who's the Director of Social Media for the corporation. Fred Stacy has held numerous senior operating positions both in the U.S. and internationally. He is also my boss and COO of the corporation. Additionally, he is also a published author. We have Jennifer Ponarelli, who has been active on Facebook since 2007, and she's a professional photographer. She's been in the industry for 6 years, and she studied at Concordia University in Montreal for marketing and psychology. Additionally, we have Melissa Miller, who's CEO of Solstice Publishing. She wrote her first book in 2007 and opened the publishing house Hearts on Fire in 2008. A year later, she met Steve Biederman, who's the CEO of the corporation. They both began a working relationship to rebrand Hearts on Fire, which turned into Solstice Publishing to market a wider variety of genres. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to Melissa, and she'll speak more about Solstice.
Okay. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'm Melissa Miller, the CEO of Solstice Publishing. Solstice has been around since 2008, as Jen said. We currently house over 200 authors, several of which have been international best-selling authors. We're the home of several celebrities, and several of our books have been optioned for film this year. We want to stress the importance of social media in branding your book and your author name. And that's what today's seminar will be about, is Facebook, and then we'll bring future ones with other social media outlets. Solstice has been growing bigger and faster this year than it ever has, and a lot of that is in thanks to our partnership with the corporation. Their marketing experiences has helped us grow and get the attention of people such as the film industries. Fred Stacy is the COO of the corporation, and he's here to kick off our seminar today. Fred?
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you, Jen. And thank you all for attending. As Melissa said, this is the first of what's going to be many presentations in our educational webinar series on different methods and means to utilize social media to market your books and creating your own brand. So, B Corporation and Solstice have actually a pretty long connection together. Steve Biederman, our CEO and my partner, he's published by Solstice, and he's the writer of the CEO and the series, the Miss Jacob series, and they've known each other. Melissa and Steve have known each other for a long time, and had built a mutual friendship, and Melissa bounced ideas off of Steve, and they always talked about publishing, marketing, and business in general. As Jen mentioned and Melissa mentioned, earlier this year, we decided to change that relationship and make it a little more, a little deeper of a relationship from a marketing perspective, to utilize the corporation and our knowledge and experience in branding and bringing products to market, to help Solstice grow. And of course, in turn, help authors grow. Melissa agreed to, and really kind of pushed for us to help her develop a way that we could give back to the writing community, in different methods to market, to learn how to market your own brand. Because today's world of publishing has changed quite a bit, as you guys know. I think all the people on here are likely authors. Or writers of some kind, and you're probably involved daily in trying to figure out how to get your book, your blog, or whatever it happens to be out to out to the largest audience you possibly can. So we've brought in Jennifer Ponarelli, who I'm going to be handing it off to, who's going to be really the focus point. She's our director of social media, to talk to you guys about the value of Facebook and how to utilize it to do branding. But I wanted to start it out and kick it off. Jen, if you could go to the next slide, please. I wanted to initially share some personal insights. Social media is something that it's been around for a long time. I think we've all been actively using it on a personal basis. However, professionally, people are still trying to really get their hands around how to utilize it to brand, to communicate with your audience, and really in the end drive sales or drive activity. Marketing really all comes down to being able to drive people to actually acquire or purchase or work with your service or whatever type of branding you happen to be doing. Facebook in particular, I want to talk about something that always comes up when we first bring on a new product or we start representing a product, taking it to market. The Facebook, there's always the discussion that happens whether you mix personal with professional, and the way that impacts your audience and how you should utilize Facebook from a marketing perspective and a branding perspective. And I'd like to share my story because I was completely on the opposite side of the suspense than what I am today. When I first started working and talking with Jennifer, and we really started taking a serious look at social media as a real branding platform, my first instinct was I absolutely do not want my personal or professional Facebook page to be mixed, or my personal life to be mixed in with my professional. And I think, I always try to take an introspective look in business and life in general, and the way I think in my philosophies. And what I quickly realized is talking through with Jennifer is a lot of this has been built up over years of the old philosophies of thinking that you do keep everything separate, and you have to draw a line between your personal and professional. And I started looking at the activity, the models, the number of consumers and different demographics, and really trying to take a holistic look on branding and understanding where this crazy social media fits in and all of it. And I came to realize that my philosophy was definitely outdated. Now, this is my professional and personal opinion, and I know that people can argue, the other side too, because I've been on the other side. However, what I've come to recognize is that, I needed to change my philosophy. The generations, one of the most powerful buying generations, the teenagers, the early 20s, those people in those demographics have grown up inside social media. They don't see the line between personal and professional, and yes, it does get them into professional trouble in today's world. You can read countless stories about those scenarios coming up. However, we're talking about the future of branding and how to move you as an author and your brand as an author and your books forward. And I look at myself personally as anybody in any type of role that has to market themselves, and you guys in particular being authors, or celebrities of any type, You need to, draw your line, so to say, on your comfort level on this and make some of your own decisions. But I think it's important that you understand that in today's society and moving forward, those lines are definitely blurred between personal and professional. People expect to see, a personal side of you, who you are. Now, if you write under a pen name, that may give you a layer of comfort or, a feeling that you can keep them still separate. However, I would challenge you to say that if you really utilize, social media and your efforts to give a personal image and build your own brand as an author, communicate with your readers, with the people who want to follow, you'll find much more success with utilizing social media. I mean, the whole idea of it is social, right? The whole concept is that you are sharing with a group of people. And the likelihood, as an author myself, I know that the people that wanted to read my book right away were friends and family, when I published. And, unfortunately, not many more than that wanted to read it. But, that's okay. I didn't write it for that purpose. So, I think that you can all probably clearly see, and it's an internal discussion and probably an argument like I had in my own head. And yes, I did have an argument with myself. I don't know what that says about me, but I think it is something that you have to seriously consider. I think, I know Jennifer's going to give you a lot of great insights around Facebook. As I said, we're going to be talking much more with you, providing these free webinar sessions about other forms of social media, to help you drive your audience and hopefully drive, your readership. And then, I hope you continue to come back and follow us on these. So I hope you don't mind. I wanted to share that personal opinion, my shift and change, and today I have to tell you that my personal Facebook is my professional Facebook. I share everything across to my friends and to my professional network equally, and I think that I know I've seen a significant response from my professional network in just them knowing that, I am a person too. So it's helped in my own personal brand, and I think it'll help in yours. So before I ramble on any more, I'm going to get you over to the professional and the expert. So I'm going to hand it off to Jennifer. And again, thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Fred. And thanks, Jen, and thanks, Melissa, for the introductions. So my name is Jennifer Pontarelli, and I'm the social media director for the corporation. And I'm here to ease your mind about how Facebook can help your brand. I actually wanted Fred to talk before on that last slide because when I first met Fred for the first time, it was very interesting how very strongly opinionated he was about how Facebook should be a personal, private entity and how his corporate life should remain separate. Where in fact, like he said in the last little bit, in the end, the two tie in together, and Facebook ends up making yourself more personable, more reachable, and people feel they can relate to you. So I'm just going to go over a couple of fun facts with you on Facebook, and I think with the numbers, you're going to be a little astonished about, how fast this has blown up in the last couple of years. As Jen said in the beginning, I've been an active member on Facebook since 2007, and there's been multiple changes on the timeline and on the About Me page and on small descriptions, even in their terms and conditions policies with privacy issues. But I'll go through some of these just now, some fun facts that I've discovered along the way. So 1 in every 13 people on Earth is actually on Facebook. Facebook's legal age is actually 16 years old, but because kids now in the demographic age between 10 and 12, they have siblings, relatives, and friends that are getting on Facebook a lot earlier. They're posting pictures of themselves and sharing images and content and videos that parents are starting to allow kids on Facebook a lot sooner. So these numbers are going up every single day, which is kind of nice. And these kids are going to have a network of following in the thousands by the time they reach 25 years old. 35 plus demographic represents more than 30% of the entire user base. So we're a young career-driven generation, and we're also a social generation. I find that my children now are starting to become, they're even more social than I am in terms of being out there and being less stressed about who sees what and what is more visible to people. 71.2% of all U.S. internet users are on Facebook. Obviously with long entrepreneurial relationships that we're all building in our young age. A lot of us are connecting our Facebook with our Twitter, our LinkedIn, our websites, so this is why these numbers are high like that. In 20 minutes, 1 million likes are shared. This is a crazy number. I've seen this a couple of times come up in stats, especially during the 9 a.m. hour, the lunch hour, the 4:30 hour. These are when Facebook is booming with people and content depending on which time zone you're in. 48% of young Americans say that they found out news through Facebook. So this is really interesting to me because my mother is the perfect example of this exact stat. My mother will call me up and say, oh my God, did you hear so-and-so's grandmother passed away? Or did you hear so-and-so is pregnant? Whereas my father is still of the generation where he's looking at the newspapers and going through the obituaries and saying, oh my God, my friend's father from so-and-so died. So it's two different sets of generations that are starting to become mobile. My father obviously is not in that transitional period. He's very happy with the way he is back from his generation. But my mother is trying to catch up and become more mobile. So she makes me laugh every time I get a phone call from her saying that she's found out some exciting news and she found out through Facebook. 50% of active users log on to Facebook at any given day. This goes back to a ton of things. You know, I'll go more in depth about this particular point later on in the presentation, but I had a conversation actually with Melissa a couple hours ago, and this is what happens, right? If you're waiting in the line and you've checked your emails, you've checked your text messages, the next thing you do is you're going to check Facebook or go on your Twitter or go on your LinkedIn. And so we're always social and we're always on the internet at some point. 48% of 18 to 34-year-olds check Facebook right when they wake up. I won't lie to you, I am 100% guilty of doing this. This is part of the morning ritual. When I go to sleep at nighttime while I'm preparing, I'll do a quick scan on Facebook on the news feed, just kind of like I'm done for the day. The job is done and my kids are put to bed. This is my relaxation time. I kind of go through whatever people have been doing through their day. And then first thing in the morning, in case I've missed something through the night, then I'll check on Facebook. People use this also for news information. CNN's also very much like that, so some people go on CNN, but there's a lot of people that go on Facebook, and I'm 100% guilty of that. So that's a good stat to have up there. So what does this all say to you? Or what does this all say to you? I'm a photographer, and Facebook is a free advertising for my services and my products that I offer. I post pictures, I post videos. So why wouldn't we use this as an advertising tool for your brand? This is what this whole presentation is about. So Jen, next slide, please. Facebook is only one of many social media challenges available. And if executed right, it is the most powerful. With over 7 million users on Facebook, it is the largest social network available today. I'm choosing Facebook today to give you this, this educational webisode for this exact reason. But there are many other complementary social media platforms out there. Twitter, I know Melissa is a very big user on Twitter, and I'm so impressed with the numbers that she has. But LinkedIn is also very popular as well. It just depends on you as a person, on your brand. So I know today we're talking to authors. So Facebook is a more visual tool, and that's why I chose to start with that one today. Next slide, Jen. So why Facebook? Facebook provides an opportunity to engage consumers wherever they are in real time. So I always like to use this example of real time, and I mentioned this before in the earlier slide. So you're standing in line waiting for the dry cleaners, your food, you're waiting in line at the bank. What do? You're checking your emails, you're checking your text messages, you're checking Facebook, sorry. You're checking basically to see what your network of friends are doing at the exact same time that you're standing in that line. That's what we do. You'll maybe do a quick post, you might take a picture, you'll post something, but this is what the real time is all about. And establishing and maintaining a Facebook presence allows you to be more personable and foster a sense of community and loyalty. I chose these two authors because I do read their books often. So Nicholas Sparks is really good about this. What he does is at least every 2 weeks, he will take a snippet from his books, one of them anyways, and he'll put them on Facebook as his status, and he'll share it with his network of friends. So what he's trying to do is, obviously we're always reliving the memories of, let's say, The Notebook, for example, through Nicholas Sparks' Facebook page. and it obviously brings a more personable moment for him. It obviously is relatable to us. Sophia Kinsella does the same thing. She's actually starting a new book, I believe it's The Shopaholic and the Baby, anyways, it's another generation of the trilogy. And she's posting a lot of pictures of her at book signings, of her with her family, of her writing. So what it does is it allows the user, myself as an example, to feel that I'm able to talk to these two people. They're not untouchable to me, they're relatable, and I want to feel comfortable. And it also makes you want to buy their product because you feel that you can be relatable to them. As a photographer, when I post, I always make sure that, I make sure my clientele knows I am a mom of 2 and I'm a wife of 13 years. So I've been in their shoes before, either with their newborn baby or as their bride for a wedding. And that's really what the idea is all about, is you're going social, you have to be personable and you have to be relatable and you have to be reachable. And that is the whole social aspect. Next slide, please. So why should your company have a Facebook preference? I know a lot of people have an issue about being virtual and being social, but I'm going to go through some of these stats for you so you have a good idea and a good base of why we should do this. So an enormous user base. Facebook has millions and billions. I think there was 7 million users on Facebook is what was last recorded. And this is a huge potential audience for your product and service. If Facebook was a country, it would be the 3rd largest behind China and India. I mean, think about that for a social media platform to have that much presence. Global reach. 75% of Facebook users are located outside of the US and Canada, which opens the door to a worldwide market for your product and your service. Why wouldn't you think about that, right? Niche targeted advertising. Facebook allows your ads to target users demographically and geographically, as well as interest, likes, and connections. I'll show you a little bit later on in the presentation about working with your insights. So once you create your brand page, we're going to go to the insights section. You'll be able to see who's following, what time are they following at, how far is your posting going, who in what country is actually looking at your postings. So I have 3,000 some odd plus users on my Facebook page, and I'm able to gauge, when is the best time for me to post, and that's really an important part that we're going to cover afterwards. High daily user activity. On any given day, 50% of Facebook active users actually log on to the site. I think this number is a little lower on the weekend, on Saturday and Sundays. I think a lot of people do try to create that family entity and try to be home with their family, so they'll put their mobile devices away as best as they can. But from Monday to Friday, this site is hot and people are on it constantly. There are companies now that are out there that are just creating Facebook pages or managing social media for you, so for people's brands. So that's why this is actually really, really important. To be on Facebook is really important. Large blocks of time users spend on the site. Facebook users spend over 5 billion minutes per month on Facebook. Facebook could also be extremely addicting, which is why it is really important that you consider advertising, because if you're constant on the feed and you're continuously posting and you're always in someone's face or always on the news feed, it's important because you're not forgettable, you're memorable, and that's what you want. Influence of Facebook friends. Ads and pages endorsed by friends and networks alike have an incredible potential to create increased ad views and page interactions for your brand. So this exact example happened to me yesterday. I was on my Facebook profile page, on my corporate page, the photography one, and I was at 898 likes. And I really wanted to get to 900 by midnight, and this was roughly around 10 o'clock last night. So I posted on my Facebook page saying, hey, I call them my Facebook family. I feel that that's a little bit of a warmer term. So I said, hey, Facebook family, can you help me reach 900 by midnight? That would be great. And I just posted it out there, not really expecting anything, just kind of hoping that I would get like a bite or two. And sure enough, I did. I got some friends that actually added their parents, that added friends of friends who they don't really know me. And in the end, I did surpass my 900. I'm at 908, I think, at the last time I checked around noon, which I just think was so hysterical because it was really a test to see how far I would go. And in the end, I actually got the goal that I was looking for. And I was really happy because I have established a good following and a very loyal network of friends on Facebook. So it is important to get the influence of Facebook friends. World's most popular virtual meeting place. This is the biggest place to congregate online. In and itself, that is the one reason you should be advertising your brand on Facebook, because it is extremely popular and everybody's on it. And I know for myself, I'll go to people if I'm at a wedding shooting saying, hey, are you on Facebook? Add me. Because if anything, the worst thing that happens is you actually meet a friend, which is a great thing. So why wouldn't you try to get on a social media site that would allow you to do that? Next slide, please. All right, so now it's time for the live presentation. Jen, you're going to give me control? Okay, so I'm going to go right on to the Solstice webpage. Hopefully everyone can see this. My thing is bouncing here. Show my screen. There we go. Okay, sorry for the little glitch, everybody. Great. So now we're on the Solstice webpage. I'm using this page solely as a platform to show you how to go ahead and start your own corporate page. And if you have any questions, there's a Q&A section right after this, and we can talk live. So this is a final product. I'll show you how to create a new product. Over here, there's a little, it looks like a bolt to me. My husband says it's a star. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to go to create a page. Facebook obviously allowed you to do other things as well, but today the goal is to create you the brand page. So there's 6 different options here. You have your local business in place, company, organization, and institutions, brand and product, artist, band, public figure, entertainment, cause, and community. Originally when I did this, I thought brand and product, but after talking with a couple of people, we have decided that actually artist, band, and public figure probably works best for everybody today. So we're going to click on that. And we're going to choose a category. So I'm going to be an author today, and my name will be JP Books. And you're going to click here. So basically you're going to add your name here. So I think I should explain to you before I continue 2 different things. I've worked with a lot of people in the last couple of months who don't feel that their personal page should be a corporate page or a business page. So what they've done is they've added 2 Facebook pages. One where they post their family pictures and their vacation shots, and they have their relatives and friends, close friends, on this page. And then there's a second one, which is a corporate Facebook page, and that is a corporate portfolio picture with their network of people from their business world, and they add that network of people so they don't collide. You don't add either or to either or page. You try to keep the 2 entities separate. So you can go ahead and do that. For me, for photography, I didn't want to manage 2 of them. I didn't mind being out there and just letting everybody see things, because to me, I think that's part of my persona. I wanted to be relatable. I wanted my family members to know that I was working on a Saturday. I wanted my clients to know that on a Sunday I do have a life and I'm with my kids and we're playing in the backyard, or we're swimming, or I do take family vacations. So it just depends on what your comfortability is, and you take it from there. You take Facebook step by step, and you do what's comfortable to you. There's a lot of parameters that you can set up. You can create a lot of divisions as well, where certain groups of people see certain things. I'll obviously explain that to you a little bit later on in the presentation. But I think it's important to know that you have options. Don't feel like that there's a rope around your neck and that this is the only thing that you can do and everything's visible and you're going to be thrown out there, and it's not like that. You can actually control everything that you're doing on Facebook. So let's go back to here, artist, band, and public figure. So author is correct. That's going to be a subcategory, and then you can put your name here if you wish, or you can put your book title if you wish. So get started. There we go. So set up for JP Books. So you're going to add a description here. We're going to make this a very detailed description, but we'll take care of that later on. What I'm trying to do is actually get you set up 100% on Facebook on a ghost page, and then I'll show you all the functions afterwards. So let's in here write to follow shortly. just so you have a footnote to go back to it later on. And then in here you do a website. So my website would be jp.com. I'm just making this up. But if you do have a website, this is exactly where you would place it. Is JP Books a real celebrity or a famous person? I love to say yes, but it's not true. So I'm going to do no. You could do yes if you'd like, though. So you could choose whatever you'd like. And then just do save information. All right. Profile picture. This has been up for discussion a lot lately. What should be put in here? For me, I change it up all the time. So I had a corporate picture at first so that I got my audience to know who I am as a person. Then I decided to put maybe an image of my client from the latest wedding or baby shoot that I did with my logo at the bottom. And now it's just my logo. Now I think I really wanted my logo to be known as Photography by Jennifer Pontarelli, so that's what I put there. So you should choose in the beginning to put a corporate portfolio picture of yourself so that you can be relatable to your audience. I won't do this right now. I don't have any pictures to put up, but I will show you how to do it later. So you can upload from your computer or you could import from your website. I'll skip this right now. Add to favorites. This is a new feature that just got put on Facebook 2 Thursdays ago, whereas you can have this add to favorites. It appears on the left-hand side of the screen in your news feed. So the birthdays are actually on your right-hand side. This will appear on your left-hand side, almost like a thumbnail, or almost like Google has it on top. They have the menu bar. It appears in the menu bar, and you can click on it. It's just so you can find it easier and you can manage it easier. I don't need to do this right now, so I won't, but I will skip it and I'll show you how to add it later. Reach more people. Facebook now lets you pay for further likes and to boost your likes on Facebook. I'll show you how to do that later as well. I don't necessarily use this for photography. I have had friends that have used this. They pay $15, and basically what it does is it goes to your network of friends. So if I have 3,000 people, then 3,000 people will get my Hey, like Photography by Jennifer Pontarelli, and their network of friends will immediately get a ping as well saying, hey, like Jennifer Pontarelli Photography. So it just keeps extending like an olive branch. It is great. Some people say that does absolutely nothing. So I'm a little bit on the fence about this particular feature. We don't need to look at it now. That could be for another educational webinar series later. All right, so now you have a ghost page. So obviously it's going to make me want to like my own page. So you're going to like your page. Okay, ignore that because I have a lot of people on Facebook and a lot of pages. So this is your admin panel right here, admin panel. This is also hidden from everybody. So never worry that if you're on your Facebook profile that people can see this. This is strictly for you and you're the only admin on the page because you've just created it. If this bothers you and you don't want this up anymore, you can go to the hide menu and it's gone. And you can bring it back if you want to continue working on it. It just depends on what you want to do. Notifications. This, when you start becoming active on Facebook and you start doing a lot of postings, this is where all of your information will appear. It will show you how many people have liked it, how far it has reached in terms of geographically. It'll show you what people are saying about it, and it'll show you any messages as well. So that's all here. So I can show you that and a sample of that at another webinar later on. Messages. So these messages are your personal messages that come in from Facebook. Again, not visible to anybody, but let's say a fan decides to write to you saying, hey, love your work, would love to chit chat about you for whatever reason. It will appear in this section here. So you'll be able to get all your messages there. New likes, invite friend. These two work hand in hand, okay? Now I have the opportunity of inviting everybody right here. And it's easy. It's click, 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 and you can just keep on clicking. Unfortunately, you do have to keep on clicking right through the entire menu bar. But these are only the people that you've interacted recently with. I'll show you where your other Facebook friends are in a minute. So let's say Anna DeLezio decides, like I click on it and I send her the invitation, and on her end, she likes it. It will appear in the new likes, and it's in real time. So if Anna liked it 4 seconds ago, I will see it here 4 seconds ago. And this also is tied into an email address where I can get it on my smartphone. So I am constantly on this admin panel live all the time. And I should mention that even for the messages, if you get a message and you're not physically on Facebook, there will be a ping that gets sent to your email address, and you will be able to respond back to that client, that fan, whomever it is right away if you choose to do so. This is the Insight page. So after 30 likes, this actually becomes active. Now I don't know where they got the 30 likes number from exactly, but it is after 30 likes. So once you have 30 likes, then you'll be able to see a histogram of exactly how the activities that you've been posting have actually gone far in terms of Facebook's analytics. But this is where everything is, where you're going to find out the information about how far your postings are going. And the insights and the notifications actually work hand in hand. The notifications also will tell you who's liked your page, which is really nice because if someone's liked your page, and I'll talk to you about on the next slide, it is important to share information as well. So if you know, just to say Nicholas Sparks ends up liking your page, it's nice to go to his page and like something as well. It's like Facebook etiquette. It's you want to be fair and you want to be nice to people as well on Facebook. So if they've lended out an arm and said, hey, I want to like you on Facebook, then you should be doing the same thing back. And it's funny, and I was telling this to Melissa just the other day. I was adding people on Twitter, and I came across Justin Bieber, and you know, he's a Canadian, and I just kind of liked him, and I went on about my day, and about 40 minutes later, I got a ping saying, hey, Justin Bieber likes you on Twitter. It made my day. I know some people are probably going to think that that's silly, but I thought that was really nice Twitter etiquette. So I just wanted to point that out, that it is important to share, but we'll talk about that as well later on. So we're on the page, and I'm pretty much explaining to the admin panel here. I'm going to show you what the edit page does. So edit page information. You can change different settings here. So do you remember that short description we did to follow shortly? So we can edit there, but we can also write a longer description. So one could be a bio, and one could be information about your book if you choose to create a corporate portfolio for just your book, which is, it's interesting because you can have multiple Facebook pages and you can control multiple products that way, or multiple brands, and that's kind of fun. Here's where your website is, official page, so enter the official brand celebrity, so you can change this as well. You can change also the fact that, is it here? No, it's the next one where I put you in as an author. Maybe you're a writer and you want to switch that up, but you can always change everything on Facebook. The admin panel is actually really user-friendly, so never be afraid to go in and change something. You can always change it back. I'll go to the admin rules here. These are kind of important. So I'm currently the manager and admin for this particular site, JP Books, but I can type in Fred. And Fred now can also be a manager on my Facebook page, and he can also work on my corporate page. So it's important because let's say you're on vacation, for example, and you want to make sure that your content is still rolling. Fred can now manage all of my, my emails, my likes, my notifications, my insights. He can see everything. Now let's say I don't want him to see everything. I just want him to be the content advisor. Now he can look at the page, but he can send messages, but he can't actually do any uploading, let's say. That's what a content creator is. The moderator is the same thing. As you go down in the list, in the scroll down list, you'll see that there's one less each time of capability to work on the site. So it just depends on what your comfortability is with the individual. So here he can respond and add and delete comments to the page, send messages on the page, and he can view the insights. That's important. So like I said, it's a preference, and you can control who sees what, even though they're an admin. It's important. I'm not going to make Fred an admin on my Facebook page for now. So I'm going to cancel this. Yes, I want to leave the page. Let's get this. Build an audience. So now I was telling you over here that this is the invite a friend for your recent interactions with Facebook people. So here is your recent interactions, sorry. And then if you go to invite friends, these are the recent interactions, right? This is what appears over here that you saw on the right-hand side. But if you clicked on search all friends, Now I have everybody in my Facebook portfolio. Everybody in my network of friends is on Facebook, can be added right here. Unfortunately, you have to go through the momentum of getting everybody clicked on like this. You press submit, and they'll all get an email saying, hey, Jennifer Pontarelli wants you to like JP Books on Facebook. And at that point, they could choose whether to like me or not. If they like me, it'll be blackened out. If they ignore me, it'll be blackened out. Either way, it's important to know that if you see someone shaded out, they've received your invitation and you're no longer permitted to send another invitation back to them. Facebook also puts that kind of that wall up to protect the individual from being harassed or from having spamming too much. So just so you know, in case you do see it, that it is shaded out, those people have already received your information already once, and they've chosen whether or not to like it or not to like it. There's also groups too. So it's like it's all the people in Montreal, all people in Mobile, all people in Toronto. I can like really just direct this one particular, invite your friends to whomever I want over here. I'm going to cancel this. Hopefully there's no questions so far and that you guys are all following me and I'm going slow enough. It's a lot of information for one day. So here, I'm going to go back to the corporate page timeline. This is the timeline, big feature now on Facebook, brand new as of 2012, I believe. So here's where that corporate portfolio picture we spoke about earlier would appear. It would appear right here. And this could be changed as often and as many times as you wish. I do suggest a corporate portfolio to start off with because it is superbly important that people get to see you and get to know that there's somebody behind the book, behind the brand. I would here in the timeline maybe put your book background or a picture of your book, or maybe you became Amazon's bestseller list for ebooks. I would put that information there because that's what appears when people come on your Facebook page for the first time. Needless to say, either one of those pictures appear on the timeline, appear on the news feed when they log into Facebook. And that's also what's extremely important. If you're planning on changing either one of those pictures, try to find out who's following you and what time they're following you at. Is it 9? Is it noon? Is it 4:30? Do you have midnight owls that are working and that will go on Facebook right before they go to bed like myself, and they'll see, hey, JP Books just changed their corporate portfolio picture. So that's pretty important to consider and to sit there and think about, you know, who's posting when and when should you be posting. And like I said, these can be changed all the time at any time. So here's the to follow shortly description that we plugged in earlier. You can actually go to the About section, and here is where you really should put in a lot of information about yourself. So basic information. You should put your, I like to put my birthday up there. I don't mind birthday wishes, so birthdays can go up there. But you see, I just joined Facebook today according to this, or this Facebook page was just created today. But here's my contact information. I'm a photographer, so my business is all online. So my email address is there, my studio address is there, my personal phone number is also there to my mobile device so that people can reach me, my hours of operation. That's where I fill all of these details in. And in the About section here is where your description of everything about you is. It should be who you are, it should be your bio, it should be even some information about your book. If you're doing this one page is one particular brand, it could be information about your brand. This was the page I showed you earlier in the admin roles. Remember that page? So this page comes up yet again, and you can make some changes there. Go back to view pages. Keeps asking me to put a portfolio picture up. Okay, so now we're still in the timeline features, and I'm realizing that I'm close to getting to the top of the hour, so I'll try to speed it up a little bit more. So here's the like button. This is what you want everybody to like. You want everybody to press this button. But this is the timeline, and this could be categorized any which way you wish. So here it says photos. I have photos, videos. I have a Twitter link. I have a LinkedIn link. I have notes. I know Nicholas Sparks has a note section too, where he kind of just writes like things that he thinks about that day. And those are good, fun little tools and widgets that you can add at a later time. I'm going to come down here to the status. So here's where you would do all of your postings. So I would write, welcome everyone. Important thing is to always remember that if you're posting multiple things throughout the day, what is most important to you and what you want your audience to see the most should be the last thing you post because it goes in chronological order. So my welcome today will be down here, and if I post a picture, it will appear on top of that. So then this gets lost. So try to always reverse your order so that you know that the welcome everyone will appear first and then the photograph. And if you are posting photographs, those are a lot easier visually to see than sometimes some postings. They get lost sometimes with all the black and white and the stuff. So it is important to do that. All right, so let's go back here. So welcome everyone. So that's my welcome to my homepage. I want you to take a look at the new features that Facebook just added a couple of months ago. There's a little bit of there's a clock here, and there's like a teardrop. It's actually a map dot. So here, I'm going to go on this posting here. Now you could pre-post your stuff for the rest of the week if you wish. I mean, you could do, I think, up to 14 days. So I'm a mom, and I'm obviously busy, and I have jobs, and I'm sure everyone is extremely busy, and you're saying to yourself, where do I have time to be able to do this? You probably don't. Well, let's say on a Saturday morning you have 40 minutes. You can actually pre-post your entire week if you want in those 40 minutes. All you have to do is exactly what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to create hello everyone. I'm going to have it post for midnight tonight. So welcome everybody to my page tomorrow morning. So you add the year, 13, add the month, we're July. Forgive me, I think we're the 23rd, but let's be on the safe side. I'm going to put 24th. And I want it to go out at midnight. I'm happy with midnight hour, right? So now, on the 24th of July, everyone at midnight is going to see this, obviously in my network of friends, are going to see this on my Facebook, in their newsfeed. I'm going to do schedule, and it's going to tell you right now. All right, so there you go. I've just created it. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a following, so that's probably why this is not working. But when you do have a following, this feature will absolutely work very well for you. And it's nice because you don't ever have to worry about it. If you know that your audience is online every day between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning because they're corporate people, they're business people, they're going to work in the morning and they're just checking Facebook quickly before they leave for the day, I would pre-post every day between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. So just choose your time frame that's comfortable with you. Here's recent activities. So it'll tell you I obviously joined 14 minutes ago. So you see that over here. And that's it. There's probably tons more to talk about, but I wanted to give you the fundamental features of Facebook right now as a base. And after that, I'll answer all of your questions. So hopefully I have answered everything right now that you can see. Jen, I'll give it back to you. I'm pretty confident that I covered everything, so I'll give it back to you. Do we have the slides? There we go. So this is my last slide, creating the best mission control room on your Facebook media pages. This is one of my favorite slides to talk about because I'm going to tell you how you can promote your brand on Facebook by doing these exact steps. So now we've built this ghost page, right? And I hope you're all happy with the way I explained it. I hope it was easy to follow. So now what we're going to do is engage consumers with useful information. So what are you going to do? You're going to post, 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 post. That's what's important. Post things that are relatable, fun facts. Post stuff about your, about your life so that you're relatable, that you're personable, that people feel that they can talk to you. Maybe you want to post information about your book, about book releases, about book tours, about book signings, maybe even segments of your book so that, everyone loves everyone loves sayings, everyone loves great quotes. So just go ahead and have fun with it. That's what's really important. Build branding. That goes back to your corporate portfolio picture. The question I have for you is, how do you want to be represented? I'm a photographer, like I told you before, and for me the flower was very, very important. That's my logo. I want it to be known as the Nike swoosh, just in a little bit more of a feminine way. So I chose a flower, pink. So now I'm known in Montreal for the photographer with the pink flower. And I'm relatable that way too. That's my brand. Yours will be either your face, the cover of your book, maybe you have the same saying all the time, something that like a goodbye saying, so you can be relatable that way. Inspire word of mouth marketing. This is where you're going to get your friends involved. So you're going to add them onto your corporate portfolio page, your corporate business page, and once you add them, have them send stuff like recommendations about your book on your corporate page. Have them like, read this book, amazing, can't believe it, can't put it down. You know, I was talking to Melissa earlier. Stephanie Myers did that with a couple of people when she was doing the Twilight series. She was recommending other books for authors to read. And the author from 50 Shades of Grey was doing the same thing. There was another series that was created very similar to the same base of books that they created. And so they were saying, hey, continue the series, go look at their stuff. So word of mouth is super important. Attract attention. It is important to be visible all the time. If you don't work on your corporate page, and it kind of becomes sterile, and then people don't want to follow something like that. So they might, like you saw earlier, I have over 5,000 people that I follow myself. So if I choose that someone's not really posting all that much, I might just knock them off and find somebody else that will post stuff that will be of interest to me. So you always got to attract the attention. Posting is important. Don't let your page go stale. Promote sharing of your content. So, you want your stuff to go out there. You want your stuff to be visible to other audience members. You need to go out there and like other people's work as well. It's really important, and it's good karma to share. So I often go onto my competitors' pages and say, love that shot that you did, great exposure, love this piece. And it'll appear on my timeline too that I've actually done such. Like I've gone out and I've actually liked somebody else's page. And like I said, it is good karma. And it comes back because when I post a picture, then I'm going to have this huge audience of people wanting to like my page as well. So it is good to promote your sharing and discover who's posting and working and who's following them. And I spoke to you earlier about that. It is very important to find out who your network of people are. Are they moms? Are they single women? Are they, families? It's important to figure out when are they up, when are they on Facebook, when are they looking at Facebook, what are they posting themselves. So this is all interesting content to put together and make sure that you post at the right time. So I hope I was helpful today, and I look forward to seeing you on other webinars coming up. And Jen, I will pass it over to you.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. Great presentation. We've had several questions come in. So we'll go ahead and get started with the Q&A. We have just a little bit of time left, so we'll try and get to as many as we can. My first question comes from Alan asking, how do I get the video feed?
Of this presentation?
I think that came in before we started displaying our video feeds. However, that does lead to a good point. There will actually be a recording of this. And Jennifer has also put together a very excellent presentation, with her actually in the timeline of Facebook that we'll be posting and sharing out to all the audience. We'll make sure to get that posted as quickly as possible. I think I heard a dog. Somebody might have turned on their mic. We will get this posted as soon as possible. It does take a little time to render the videos and to upload them, and then we'll set up the posts and links for both the recording of this, which unfortunately on the recording you won't see our faces. You'll hear our voices and see the presentation, the video feed from the screen itself, but you won't see us during the recording, just part of the tool that we use. So we will have all of that posted. So hopefully that answers the question and many more questions beyond that.
Okay, so I have another one from Michael. Is there a section on the page to insert sample chapters?
Absolutely. You can create a note section. That's what Nicholas Sparks was doing. So there's a note section available on the timeline feed. If you press on the plus sign in the timeline, you'll be able to write a note section and put in chapters. Question is, do you want your audience to look at your stuff before you published it?
Right. We have another one from Angela. A couple people commented on my Facebook page that they loved my book, and then another author stepped in and added an ad for their own book. I couldn't delete his comment or parse out the others and ended up deleting the entire thread.
I am really sorry that has happened to you. That's absolutely terrible. Now, it's funny how you couldn't delete his comment without deleting everything else. In fact, this exact situation happened to me yesterday. A client emailed me saying, hey, this was great, so happy that I had you at my wedding, And then her sister-in-law wrote, but we're forgetting this picture and you forgot this picture and this picture. So what I did is I went in and I deleted her stuff. I don't want her sister-in-law to have anything to do with my Facebook page. In this case, that's a really good question. I don't really know. I would go in and delete it. I think if you open up the trend itself on the right-hand side, it will say, it'll have a little X, and if you click on that, they should go away. Those comments should go away. You have the right to manage your page exactly the way you wish to see it. So I wouldn't want to take the permissions away from having people comment, because that's what you really want. That's your word of mouth. But I would also send a message maybe to Facebook asking them, no, I wouldn't do that. I think that's really what it is. I think you need to go into your trend and click on those little boxes and close off those comments as best as you can.
All right, thank you. We have one more, Jennifer, from Sam. Should we create a separate page for each book or put all under one page?
That's a great question. I would do one for each book. I think it's great. I manage personally myself 18 business pages, and it's really easy to do that. But I think what's really special about this type of question is because you can share the books on individual pages. So let's say Book A, Book B, and Book C are all separate corporate pages. You can take Book A and say, hey, this was become on Amazon's bestsellers list, and share it with Book B and Book C because you're a min on all 3 business pages. So that's kind of fun that you can do that. So I would create a brand for each page. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to add, if you do that, I would also make sure as an author, you've got your own brand as an individual, and it would be critical because you can have an unlimited number of pages. You can have your author page where all of your books are listed, and then you can have specific page books, or Facebook pages for your books in particular, if you want. It depends. If it was a series, I'd probably utilize one, and if you've got multiple other ones, it just depends on your strategy, I guess, and you can get into your own marketing ideas in ways to distribute or share across it. But as an author, I know I would want one singular page for all of my books, so that they're sharing, they're following me as an individual, as a writer. Just my suggestion.
I'm more of the more is more type of person. I don't mind that, so it's good. It's 2 different views, and that's why I think Fred was so important to be on this presentation, because we do sometimes have 2 different views about social media, so it's great.
Perfect. All right, well, I want to thank everyone for the great questions. We'd like to thank Jennifer, Fred, and Melissa for their contributions to this presentation. And we'd like to remind the audience to look for future presentations in this series on social media. Don't forget to look for us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And we do appreciate your attendance again, and thank you, and have a great day.